Hello Gemini, welcome. My name is Nicole and welcome to Afro Empress Tarot. I just did your cards, shuffled them, and so before we get started, I would like you guys to pop in and subscribe to my channel if you want, to continue to get notified for any new videos that may come out in the future. Also to review your star, your sun, moon, and rising sign as well. So if you don't get information from this reading, you may get one from when your moon or rising sign as well. Also, if you would love a personal reading with me, I do them. So you can go into the description box and you can go to afroempresstarot@gmail.com. Email me and we can exchange information. If you will decide to do a reading with me, then we can do it via Skype or on the telephone, wherever works for you. We could go from there, as well as any other questions you may have. So I'm just going to get started here. When I first picked up your energy, I asked Spirit, to give me one word to describe you and Gemini's for September 2018. The first word that they popped up in my head, and that's actually, I picked up this word while I was shuffling, but it just continued to come to me, and that was temperance. So one interesting fact, you guys are my third reading that I've actually recorded so far, and every single reading I've been getting the Seven of Pentacles, and now it's in the back of the deck for you guys, what's really interesting for me, when I first with that Temperance card, and this is like finally having growth, there being actual growth happening. So the seeds that you've been planting throughout this time, especially in a financial aspect of things, there's finally growth financially for you. Geminis out there, some of you Geminis, most of you Geminis. I get some of you, but I feel like there's some substantial growth as an individual, and knowing who you are, and then for your looking and going towards your passion. But I already shuffled the deck and placed your cards, and while looking at your cards, I got the King of Cups, the Ten of Wands, and the Nine of Wands on top. So like for the beginning of September, and what I'm really picking up here is that there is some level of emotional stability. I feel like when I look at this energy, what I'm feeling when I get this thing is just like, some level of just relaxation. And this kind of like, he's pouring a cup of coffee. And it might not mean a whole lot to you, but it's just kind of like you wake up in the morning and you just, let me just pour myself a cup of coffee and just enjoying the moment. Beyond the chaos, beyond the frustrations you may have that you are going through, or that you're feeling, I feel like right now it's just kind of like, I'm living in the moment. I'm enjoying this, and that's kind of where I'm getting like, just a nice Sunday, Saturday morning, a lazy Saturday morning. You don't have to work, you don't have to, like, that's kind of the feeling I got, just completely chill, and that's awesome. Via that, what you're going through is a lot of shit. I have the Ten of Wands and the Nine of Wands in reverse. This is saying that you have a lot of fucking shit that you carry. And this is telling me that without a lot of shit that you're carrying, you're finally getting some level of a break in September for sure. Like that is finally starting to, strengthen. There's that bone of strengthen. And they're saying that even though it just felt like it's been struggling, things are coming to get better. That things are getting better. It might have been hard for you, with this transitioning in September from August. A lot of emotional things coming up. A lot of in the spiritual realm and the physical realm, being that there may have been for some of you, financial worries, some of you dealing with, I think for you, shedding and letting go of some emotional baggage, emotional things, work-related things, overbearing bosses, overbearing family members. I feel like there is a lot of weight that you were carrying in August to September, and in September you're finally starting to release and let go of those, and you're starting to get stronger because of this. But I feel like you emotionally are taking it all in stride, which is great, and in Gemini fashion, that's totally up your alley. Like Geminis, they have two different personalities, as you all know. But I feel like with this, it's like you let it's just kind of breezed by you. It just breezed by you, because there's a lot of shit. But I'm just gonna sit here and drink my coffee, because, and from the bottom it has to come it has to come up sometime, So I'm just gonna drink my coffee, and then call me when it gets better, And I love that about you guys. I got a lot of love for you guys. For mid-September, I have the Ace of Pentacles in reverse, 3 of Cups in reverse, and 2 of Pentacles in reverse. Surprisingly, I have a lot of cards here that's in reverse for this month, but not in a bad way. I just feel like there's maybe some lack of connection with someone, possibly an earth sign. And we also have water, and we also have fire here. But I'm getting possibly a Taurus. I feel like there is just there hasn't been a whole lot of movement happening in financial aspect of things, but one of the hardest things that you've been kind of struggling is your family and your work life. Financially, there hasn't been a whole lot of turnaround for you guys, and I feel like right now that with family, it could be your relationship, your spouse. For some of you, there has been kind of a balance because unable to balance it all. You kind of been juggling and it's not working. You're kind of just dropping the balls. It's like either you're gonna drop the work financial ball, or you're gonna drop the family ball, relationship ball. And it's like you can't really carry both. But I feel like with this reading, that general temperance is finding that balance. Your work life and your family life, finding that balance between the two of them, and not having to juggle with them, but finding the balance between the two of them. Or just not juggling just one or juggling the other, but just finding the balance. And I think that's where I got the temperance from. Though it's divinely going, allow divine, to guide you in this as well. Towards the end of September, I have the Knight of Wands, the Star in the reverse, and the Chariot in reverse, which I love these cards. This is by far my favorite deck. I just recently got this deck. Don't ask me to tell you the name because I'm really bad at saying it, but here is the box if you're interested. Beautiful deck, beautiful deck. Here's the description, and it's kind of like a Asian type feel to them. You're gonna see a lot of the depictions are very Asian, people being displayed here, I guess you go. But I guess the title of the tarot deck is actually represents the what it's called is actually in English the Wonder, and it means the wonder in English, and I have is absolutely connected with this deck, so this is by far my favorite deck. So this is probably where I'm going to be using in all my readings going forward. But what I'm getting here with this end of year September, I know I randomly have like random thoughts, so I might pop in and say some random stuff and then pop back into your reading, so I apologize for that, but hey, that's me. With the Knight of Wands, what I'm getting is that you are like aiming, I'm ready. Like you are ready to just, go. You're ready to go. You're ready to get in there. You're charging it on your passion. The problem is you have no stinking direction. You have no idea where you're going with this. And I feel like, that's kind of the reason why with the work in the family balance, there's not a balance there. There's a lack of balance there, is because you actually need to step back, haul your horses just a little bit, and actually set up a plan. I feel like you have to come up with a plan here. You're sitting there, you're just being clear, I'm just going to let this go past me, but like you need to like sit while you're sitting there, sitting back and drinking your coffee, come up with a plan to go forward. Because right now you're like, I'm drinking my coffee, but then I'm going to go and do this other stuff that I have no idea if this is going to actually help me in the long run, which will wind up, not being the direction that you need to be in. So you really need to come to terms that when you're going forward, you're going to be going in the direction that you need to be in, to go in to get to where you need to be. There is, like I said, generally you are in the point of growth. You're growing as an individual, and for some of you, a financial situation. But you need to really stay in alignment of, haul your horses just a little bit, like the wind, you blow, but you need to find a direction of which direction you want to blow in. Just don't go in all four directions, and you're never going to get where you need to go. And that's probably why it's been so difficult for you. That's why you've been carrying a lot of stuff right now, because you're blowing in all kind of different directions, and you don't even have a plan of where you want to go to begin with. And it's saying, let it go. Let it go and plan. Come up with a plan. Come up with a solution first. Come up with your plan. Write it down. And so you need that build of a structure. And I feel like with this, it's like, it's building a structure to your passion, like coming up with a plan, coming up with a solution, and you're finally coming up with one. Things it will make your life so much easier. And this is for anyone, but like I think for you, for specifically Gemini, you really need to like focus on where you want to go, who you want to be, you know, because you are growing, and all the effort and energy that you have all the, sorry, lost track. Attention span very short. I'm an Aries, come on now. So all the things that you have planted your seeds with, all the things you have already done has gotten you this far, and you have been growing for it. It's been slow, but it's been steady, and now it's, you know, and that's what brings you to that contentment. But you need to sit back and really come up with where you want to be, especially in September. I think that's where Temperance lies. I feel like with this King of Cups right in the get-go, does not kind of look like, you know, balance here. It kind of reminds me of the Temperance card, even though it's not the Temperance card. But I feel like this is very similar to the Temperance card, and it's just kind of like yin and yang kind of thing like that. Because right now, this is what you're doing. You're dropping your balls, dude. That's what she said. But you know, like you're dropping your balls. You know, you know, your family's upset. You're not getting the money that you need. You're not starting, you know, off in a very stable position here. But you have the passion, you have the drive, you could do it. But to grow, you gotta find some level of direction. You can't just sit there and be like, oh, I got it. You know, I'm just gonna go this way. You know, self-control. To have some level of self-control here. You got it. You have the passion. You have the direction you need to go to. You know what you gotta do, but you gotta do it, and and not just do whatever. But you need to plan for it. So I think I might leave it here. But again, love you guys, Gemini. You guys are my people too. I love my air signs, although sometimes you guys frustrate me just a little bit. You set my fire up high, bigger, if that makes any sense. Please subscribe to my channel and see, so you can get notifications for next month's reading. I might come back and do a love reading in the next couple of weeks, so keep an eye on that for September. Love you guys, love and light. Bye.